sports fans, Coach Nick here, and welcome to B-Ball Breakdown. Today I want to talk about a defensive concept called ICE, which is defending the sideline screen and roll. Teams like the Bulls have mastered this and made it very difficult to score for offenses. So let's start into it where we have your typical sideline screen and roll, a guy on the wing with the ball, and a screener coming on an inside screen to the wing. So Ali come across and set that screen. Now stop right there. What the defender has to do is kind of come up this way over here, and he's going to force the ball handler to the baseline. So come over, put your right foot all the way up here. There you go. And then you're going to make contact with the screener. So back up. Yes. Contact with the screener, and then actually flip your feet around a little bit. Yes. So now he's not going to let this guy go. Even if he tries to go this way, he's not going to let him go. So come back to one here. So the other part of ICE, which is really key, is that the guy guarding the screener is going to come down here to contain. Now, I want you to go here. You're actually going to almost show him some space to the lane. There you go. Really take away that lane. Even if he's going to come into here, you're going to stay with him. It almost becomes a double team. Okay, so hold the ball there. That is a great way to contain the pick and roll. The key here is that you don't need a third defender to rotate. Understand that? Because he is here sunk down, you are taking away the penetration. So you might ask, what are you giving up? Well, that is pretty simple. It's the pop, the pick and pop. However, what do most teams want to give up these days? The Bulls have made a living off of giving up long twos. And let me tell you, that's all you're going to get out of this thing. So the key here is you're not giving up a 2-on-1 fast break. Once the ball gets to the screener here, and you've had to have somebody else rotate over here like this, now if he swings it, it's going to be a fast break on the weak side. With the ICE, you don't need to rotate anybody over, because if the ball gets kicked up here, a simple closeout here, slowly, let him have it, right? Let him have an inefficient long two. So let's reset to the beginning and let's try and do it live, full speed. Here comes the screen. He's going to, it's forced down, sag, give it up, and then close out. Good, that's it. So that is basically what sideline ICE looks like, and it's why teams like the Bulls have done very well, and we've seen even the Warriors institute it and taken away a lot of easy shots for the offense. The Grizzlies time and again let Kevin Durant use the ball screen and hope Gasol could contain. There isn't much he can do on Durant that far from the basket. However, when Memphis played ICE and forced Durant away from the screen first, it did give Gasol a little extra time and he could force this miss. Watch how the Spurs do a great job keeping Steph Curry from even using the screen. They contain the ball on the left side and force a tough shot. The Bulls ice this pick and roll by forcing D. Will away from the screen. On the pocket pass, Noah quickly gets back in position to contest and force this Lopez miss. If you want to have the screener's defender sink low and then allow the ball handler to use the screen, you're going to be in serious trouble. Gerald Wallace has to trail, and Lopez must step up, leaving the roll wide open. Here's another example of Joe Johnson allowing the ball to go middle and use the screen. There is no strong side help, and Lopez is left to watch his man score over the smaller Evans. The Heat take an entirely different approach and hedge high, bringing two men way out on the perimeter. While effective overall against the good offensive teams, it gives up a pass to the roll man and way too many easy shots. Again, the Heat allowed Ginobili to use the screen towards the middle. Bosh has to step over, and there is absolutely no help. Another option out of the sideline screen and roll is the pivot screen from the inside. The Spurs love to do this to try and take away ICE, but ICE does not have to change its principles at all. So let me show you what that looks like. Here's the ball handler. The screen comes to be on the inside part of the man, and then as he gets here, watch, he's going to turn, make it a down screen here on the ball. Nothing changes. Hold the ball for a second. All the defender has to do is bust his ass a little bit harder to get around that screen when maintaining position while he holds his position to contain. So let's do that one more time, a little bit faster live, and you'll see how this will still give up the same shot without any problems with the turn screen on the ball. There's a turn, quickly penetrate, good. Here's an example of the Grizzlies pivoting to set a flat screen on the sideline. You can see how there is no need for a third defender to rotate, as Splitter can contain Gasol. All they get out of it is a contested long two. Again, the Grizzlies contain the sideline screen and roll, and here Randolph didn't even need to help as much as he did before closing out on this long three. Now, the key here is that they have to talk on defense. Talking defenses do the best, and the talking occurs when the guy guarding the ball has to let the guy who's guarding the screener know that he's in position to handle it. So go back to one real quick. I'm going to show you what happens often with bad defensive teams that don't talk. What's going to happen is, go slow, here comes the screen, he's going to turn. Now watch this. Ali, thinking that his man is kind of in the vicinity, is going to run away thinking, oh, I have to go get my man. Well, he goes right to the basket because his defender wasn't there on time. So it's up to the ball man, the defender on the ball, to let the screener's man know he is there very loudly, because remember, you got 18 or 19,000 people screaming their heads off. It's not going to be easy to hear. So that is the basics of ice and defending that on the screen, on the weak side, when you watch these NBA games. So make sure you watch teams like the Bulls or the Warriors or the Celtics, and you'll see the Clippers doing it too. When they defend the sideline screen and roll, this is how they'll do it.